Welcome everyone, my name is Matshepo. Welcome to the Connecting Africa video. I'm joined by Rami Osman, the Business Development Director for MediaTek. Hi Rami, how are you?
Hi.
Thank you for indulging us and joining.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
I have like a short list of questions. Tell me why you guys are at Africa Tech Festival and why, I know you were here last year, but what's the main reason for you guys coming this year? What are you launching?
So we've been coming to South Africa for the last, I would say, 10 years, at least once a year. So we participate and we meet our partners and customers.
Yeah.
South Africa is an important country for us in the region. And we have physical presence here. Africa Tech Festival or AfricaCom is a place where I think it's the platform to share ideas, to announce last year achievements and partnership and to plan for next year. This year in particular, there are I think recurring themes that we are here to see our partners and to develop on them, like mobility, what's going on with the smartphone world, how MediaTek is continuing its leadership in the smartphone business with recent chipset announcement like Dimensity 9400, our flagship proposition, as well as connectivity, which is, I think it's a major theme in Africa, such a big continent and a lot of requirements for broadband, whether it's in the consumer or enterprise space. And of course, IoT or AI, perhaps newer developing themes. But also there are some early breakthroughs, I would say. So maybe that's a quick summary of the three top themes for our presence here.
So with talking about connectivity specifically in Africa and you guys' involvement in the chipset and the smartphone business, how are you ensuring that you come and you provide services to the African community but at prices that they can afford?
First, you have to be close to the consumer. So as I mentioned, we are Taiwan-based semiconductor supplier. We're probably one of the largest chipset platform suppliers ever. We ship more than 2 billion chips every year. We are leading in multiple categories like TV, smartphone, and home routers. To reach the consumer, the African consumer, first you have to have a global understanding of the requirements. And MediaTek for the connectivity looks at the world in different needs. So there are some areas in the world that are still using DSL. And while more advanced markets are using 5G as connectivity means. Emerging markets usually have similar requirements. And as you mentioned, the price is very important here. But at the same time, the African consumer sometimes does not accept to be late in terms of technology. So how do you give the advanced connectivity or fast connectivity with affordable prices? MediaTek is known for its excellence in reference design in the last 2 decades. Reference design is our way to simplify the design process to the manufacturer of consumer electronic devices. So that's one of the, approaches that we take, is to optimize the reference design. I mentioned earlier, be close to the customer. Our customers are usually based in Asia, most of them consumer electronics manufacturers. We're based in Taiwan. We have lot of R&D resources and product management resources between Taiwan, China, Japan, Korea, your usual places for hardware and software innovation. But that's not enough. You have to come to the end customer or the consumer.
Yeah.
So part of being here is to meet the telecom operators, so NTNs, the Airtel, the Vodacom, the Orange of Africa. It's a very diverse. And there is also the local companies, local African companies. There are a few technology companies like Rain from South Africa, like Riot, like Kutling, like Yoko. I think that's, in a summary, our approach to serving the African consumer with the prices that they're targeting.
You spoke about very, I don't want to say new players in the market, but they've been there relatively a short time as compared to your other big telcos. I'm talking Rain, I'm talking Riot even. What prompted you guys to like say, listen, we want to partner with these players that are not necessarily big as an Orange, but are doing great things in the markets that they see? Yeah. What prompted you guys to do that?
As a global company, our success, frankly, can be secured by working with the global leaders in the technology sector. So you may be wondering, so you have the right to ask why such a global company is caring for the enablement of the local ecosystem.
Yeah.
There are different reasons. Sometimes because of excellence. So you may be surprised, but some new ideas could be coming from Africa. And one of the examples, as I mentioned now, is 5G connectivity. So in different parts around the world, fixed broadband or fiber to the home or DSL is mature.
Yeah.
But since Africa already was late to that trend, you will notice that there's an innovation in Africa with something called fixed wireless access or fixed wireless broadband. So that's one of the reasons, is actual excellence in the use case. So Africa is a wireless continent.
Yeah.
The nature of the African consumer, they are particular about certain things in the smartphone. So for example, the African consumer needs maybe a bigger battery, needs mobile payment. It's big here, right? As you know, maybe you know the success in Kenya with the mobile payment. The African consumer has some proposition between the feature phone and smartphone, which we call smart feature phone. So I talked about the excellence, so some innovation from local companies, but also localized use cases. And if you try to solve all the problems with a global proposition, you may need 70% of the markets, but in MediaTek, we are very good in being mass adoption.
Yeah.
So we really don't want to leave any regional market globally without understanding it, understanding the local player, the unique characteristics of this market, 4G, 3G to 4G migration, 4G to 5G migration. From an IoT perspective, for example, South Africa, security is important, right? So surveillance and security is also another defining character of the requirements, technical requirements in this continent. So not only in Africa, MediaTek has regional teams around the world. We try to understand the consumers, work with the operators to make sure that our propositions are fully matching the market.
Great. So in closing, where do you see the company in 5 years is a long time, in 18 months? You know, what plans are there in the vault that you're ready to like bring out and show off?
18 months for us is a very short period.
Okay, let's say 5 years.
Because we are planning 5 years, maybe I don't see. Probably our guys, our colleagues in the CTO office or corporate R&D, I'm sure they're working. But 18 months, something we're talking about already. If you go to the retailer, like Pep, he will present to you the existing technology, right? And you meet the OEM, he'll present to you the next year, right? He'll talk to you about devices launching next year. When you talk to the chipset leader like MediaTek, we are already thinking about 2-3 years and beyond. Now, as I said, so global requirements, we have a plan that meets most of the global market need for different categories like TVs or smartphones or connectivity. But Africa is always a challenge because the curve of the African adoption does not match the global adoption curve. So what I could talk about 2 years, beyond 2 years, is what we call edge AI. So you may have heard about this term, because AI investments are extremely expensive, and governments and big software platform companies are owning most of the innovation and adoption of the AI on the cloud. MediaTek, as a chipset company, has solutions for AI on the terminal, or we call it edge AI. For example, now your smartphone is equipped with a neural network processor unit, or what we call MPU. So expect more powerful MPUs to enable smartphones of tomorrow to be able to execute generative AI in real time without having to go to an expensive cloud AI setup. Not only smartphone is one of the use cases, but many of the daily life experiences will be powered by edge AI. I'll give you an example. We were launching in Dubai with a Singapore-based POS company last month, and they have this smart vegetable scale with a camera. It's powered with a camera. So if you put 2 types of oranges, it will know which is the local, which is the imported, and can print for you the right barcode. Surveillance industry is moving. So again, expect South African, public domain cameras to be powered with. Of course, they have mechanical movement. They have strong, powerful zoom. They have a strong sensor. They're connected to the NVR, etc. But what is coming to them is the ability to make decisions on the edge. So if there's an email that needs to be sent with a warning to the building because they did not clean the trash on time in front of the building, the camera can automatically send the email. You do not have to employ staff to observe and then do the task manually. These are the things that you can expect in terms of the automation, more autonomous life, aspects of our life. So you know about autonomous driving and using AI in vehicles. What MediaTek is gonna provide for its customers in the coming years is the ability to bring the autonomous machines beyond vehicles.
Okay. But you said that adoption in Africa is lower than it is in other parts of the world, right? So how quickly can the autonomous driving come to South Africa, or Africa even, considering the power issues and everything that's happening?
These technologies provide solutions. They're not luxury, but it needs some institutional adoption. So, for example, agriculture is strong in Uganda, Kenya, South Africa, right? It's very strong. It makes sense for these technologies to be adopted. I was in Saudi Arabia recently, and they asked me for agricultural robot. Okay, the funny thing is that Saudi Arabia is not famous for its agriculture, but their technology adoption is fast.
That's fast, yeah.
We need the industry in Africa to ask for those solutions. The adoption curve does not have to follow. I did not say low. I said the curve is different. So the adoption could be faster, could be slower, but it's usually different. It's like its own world.
Yeah.
Generally, in new technology like big screen sizes, high resolution, or flagship smartphones, yes, it was little bit late. But IoT or edge IoT or edge AI IoT, I think it will benefit the African economy. So actually, it makes sense for the governments in Africa to try to expedite the adoption of AI and bring more of it because it will help with the development of the economy.
So you would say regulators in different regulatory frameworks need to play ball.
That could be
innovators.
Yeah, that could be one way of looking at it. I remember in AfricaCom, I think 8 years back, I was attending an Ericsson event, and they nominated a Kenyan startup, I think, for an award of the most innovative IoT application, which was something relating to switching on and off the watering system. So it could be as simple as this, or it could be very complex, like drone. If you watch CNN every day, when they have these shows about Africa, they put a big agricultural land and a drone going over it for, like dispensing the fertilizers or the pesticides. So maybe it's not long from now, maybe a few years from now, we will see adoption for this, and MediaTek solutions are ready to empower these kinds of edge AI IoT solutions.
Thank you so much. We could continue talking for like the whole day. That was Rami Osman for MediaTek. Thank you.